Welcome to visit our YouTube channel. It was just like a bolt from the blue for India when the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte warned India, Brazil, and China that the NATO countries would impose 100% tariff against them if they continue to do business with Russia. In fact, the NATO countries are just following the footsteps of Donald Trump, and voice of Donald Trump echoed by NATO chief, who wishes that the war between Russia and Ukraine can only be stopped if Russia becomes economically so weak that it does not afford to go on for the full-fledged war with Ukraine. For this purpose, America had earlier applied strict sanctions against Russia to weaken its economy. America also expected that a large country like India should not do business with Russia, especially the purchase of oil should be stopped so that the economy of Russia suffers and it would be compelled to stop war against Ukraine. That's why when there was a BRICS countries meeting in Brazil, Donald Trump sharply reacted and threatened BRICS countries that an additional tariff of 25% will be imposed against them. Now the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte crossed all limits when he threatened to Brazil, India, and China to stop business with Russia and also stop purchasing the crude oil from Russia. Otherwise, a 100% tariff will be imposed on them. But NATO countries and also secondary sanctions will be enforced against Brazil, India, and China. The statement of NATO chief was strongly criticized and objected by many prominent countries, including India. Let us know how India's external affairs spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal responded to the NATO chief's statement. Amid the US threats to impose secondary sanctions on Russian crude oil, India said it was confident of meeting its energy requirement from alternative sources. Oil Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said the world's third largest oil importer should be able to deal with the problem with Russian imports by seeking supplies from other countries. However, Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson Ranveer Jaiswal said it was Indian government's priority to secure the energy needs of its people. He said India would pursue the best offer to meet its needs. India does not subscribe to any unilateral sanction measures. The government of India considers the provision of energy security and responsibility of paramount importance to meet the basic needs of its citizens. New Delhi also cautioned against double standard in the enforcement of sanction. The double standard remarks were aimed at NATO as several European countries that include NATO allies are expected to continue remaining dependent on Russian gas supply until 2027. Is not it double speak? Will York also face these additional tariff of 100%? Asked an Indian official. Moreover, many critics sharply objected to the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte's statement of enforcing 100% tariff and imposing country sanctions against three member countries of BRICS, namely Brazil, India, and China, because NATO is an organization of America and European countries to deal with the security of these nations and also a type of military organization. It has no right to threaten for the enforcement of country sanctions and additional tariffs upon the three influential and powerful countries like China, India, and Brazil. Now, the whole world, including these three BRICS member countries, are looking with great eager and caution how the NATO countries and Trump administration would proceed further in the era of trade war and what would be the outcome of the threats of NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte in the long run. That is the end of this video. If you find that this video is informative, please like and share this video and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot.